Hello, everybody, and welcome to Water Talk, brought to you by Water Online. My name is Angela Godwin, and I'm your host today. My guest, I am very excited to welcome Maury Gaston. Maury, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Maury is one of the earliest guests on Water Talk and a frequent visitor, so we're very happy to have you back.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Now, Maury is with American Ductile Iron Pipe and American SpiralWeld Pipe, and those are two product lines in the company, correct?
That's right. We make iron and steel pipe from 4-inch diameter to 12-foot diameter.
Wow. But not only that, you also are just celebrating 40 years with the company.
I am.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We've got a number of people throughout our company and in our sales force with 40 or more years of service.
That's a real testament to the company and the longevity that people sticking around and really loving what they do.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, I also know that you have a number of prestigious accomplishments in your career, and I'm going to mention a few, so don't get embarrassed now. But you are Auburn's 2014 Mechanical Engineering Alumnus of the Year, so that's amazing. Longtime member.
My professors were amazed as well.
Were they really? Well, hey, you know, you surprised them. So you're a longtime member and past chair of Auburn's Alumni Engineering Council.
Right. Yep.
That is fantastic. Current director and past chair of the State of Alabama Engineering Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. That is incredible. Yeah. Congratulations. And of course, current chair of the Alabama Iron and Steel Council. So obviously very, very plugged in to this industry. Mm-hmm. A lot of perspective to share with our viewers today, I'm sure. Yep. Yeah. So what would you want somebody maybe outside the water industry or new to the water industry to know about pipe materials, whether, you know, iron and steel or other types that are available now in the market?
Great question, Angela. I think that one of the most important things for the general public to know, especially given some of the recent events in the water industry, as well as people in the water industry themselves professionally, is to know that the American municipal water supply system was built on iron and steel. Mm-hmm. I often say iron pipe, it's what America is built on. And it's true. Back over 100 years ago, when municipal water systems were being developed, iron pipe was the only game in town. And later, riveted steel pipe came along when the diameters needed to be larger. Mm-hmm. And it's a good thing that iron and steel were the early components of our municipal water systems, because they are the longest lasting, the most resilient, the most sustainable of all the materials available. And we would have had today's infrastructure challenges decades earlier if iron and steel pipe had not been used to build our original water systems.
Sure. So what sort of changed? Why isn't iron and steel pipe the only game anymore?
Well, it's the best game in town, but it's not the only game in town. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of perspective in history there is how some of these other materials came about and what happened to them. Mm-hmm. First of all, there was this product called lead pipe, and we've heard a lot about that lately. Lead was plentiful. It was economical. It didn't corrode in the conventional sense. Mm-hmm. It was flexible. And so it appeared to be a miracle pipe material. And we know how lead pipe turned out. And next came along asbestos. Mm-hmm. There are millions of people who have no idea that asbestos was used and is still being used in some areas to provide drinking water to their homes. Mm-hmm. Asbestos was blended with cement, and it was called, remarkably so, asbestos cement pipe. Mm-hmm. And it appeared to be a miracle pipe material. It was economical. It was lightweight. Mm-hmm. It was field adaptable by cutting it with a handsaw in the field, and it did not corrode in the conventional sense. Right. Well, we know how asbestos turned out, just like lead turned out. And meanwhile, iron and steel pipe continue to serve and provide safe, reliable drinking water in a resilient and sustainable manner.
Yeah. Now I know, so during World War II, for example, even newer pipe materials for the time came on the scene, right?
That's right. In World War II, in order to save steel, mm-hmm. pre-stressed concrete cylinder pipe was developed and became a competitor to steel, mm-hmm. What I call conventional steel pipe, welded steel pipe, riveted steel pipe at that time. It used less steel, a thin cylinder wrapped with wire to create some compression. Well, 40 years later, those wires corroded. And in the 1980s, when I was beginning my career, pre-stressed concrete cylinder pipe was literally exploding all across the country. And it has essentially been supplanted now by spiral welded steel pipe, which is one reason we got into the spiral welded steel industry and have plants in South Carolina, Michigan, and Texas.
Mm-hmm. So now in the decades since then, what's the latest kind of new kid on the block in terms of pipe materials?
Well, there is yet another self-proclaimed miracle pipe material, and it's plastic PVC pipe. It shares similarities with lead and asbestos in that it is cheaper. It doesn't corrode in the conventional sense. It is permeable with hydrocarbons, but doesn't corrode in the conventional sense. It can be cut in the field with a handsaw. And so it has a lot of these desirable attributes, but there's still a lot of questions remaining concerning synthetic materials in general and plastic PVC in particular. So those are things to keep in mind in specifying your municipal water system materials.
It's a lot to consider. It's a lot to think about. So what advice might you have for water professionals out there charged with specifying the right pipe material?
My advice would be, look at what got you here. Don't take an unknown risk. Specify iron and steel for your water system materials. It's the most sustainable, the most resilient, made from completely recycled raw materials, consumes less energy to pump water through it. It lasts longer, and while it may have a slightly higher initial cost, the life cycle cost is a great value and much better than substitute materials, which we have discussed.
Yep, and we know because it's been in the ground for 100 years, sometimes 150 years, right?
That's right.
And there have been a lot of advancements in corrosion control as well, I understand.
There have. If you have a corrosive soil environment, our zinc coating will be very applicable, and we can wrap it with V-Bio enhanced polyethylene encasement. And I'm doing a presentation tomorrow here at the Waterworks show on a study that we did in the Everglades, the most corrosive soil environment in North America, and the corrosion probe rate that we monitored for that installation has a projected life of 1,666 years.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
It is incredible, absolutely.
So now, Maury, I know in addition to all of the other amazing things you've done in your career, you also are the vice chair of the AWWA A21 committee. Can you tell us what that is?
Sure, Angela, be happy to. The A21 committee is part of the American Waterworks Association, and we are at the annual conference right now for this occasion. We'll have an A21 committee meeting tomorrow. We'll talk about the standard. We will review the standard, make sure that it's up to date and current. And standards ensure that all the ductile iron pipe products fit well together. They have proper tolerances. Quality control matters are established. And it provides uniformity for the entire industry.
Excellent. Now, listen, if people watching, they want to check out a little bit more information about all the things we talked about today, ductile iron pipe or some of the corrosion control technology, where would you send them for information?
I would refer them to our website, american-usa.com. There are sections there for ductile iron pipe and for spiral welded steel pipe. You can find a section on zinc coatings, on V-Bio polyethylene encasement, on our seismic earthquake joint, on our restrained joints. Our news page is filled with case studies and technical papers and things of that nature.
Thank you so much, Maury, for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
This is Water Talk, powered by Water Online. My name is Angela Godwin.